In this screencast, I'm going to show you how to add a new text to Sefaria that Sefaria has never heard of before. So let's imagine there's a text I'd like to add. It's called Sefer Ploni. I look in the text menu, I browse through the table of contents. Sefaria has never heard of Sefer Ploni. So let's add it. In the text menu at the bottom, there's an Add a Text button. Let's click that button and now start typing the name of our text, Sefer Ploni. So when I finish typing, Sefaria says this is an unknown text. It's never heard of this one before. So when we click Add Text Now, we're first going to come to a screen where we can give some basic information about this text before Sefaria can start storing the text itself. So the basic information that we need is a primary title, which is in English characters. We can add a Hebrew title as well. We can optionally add a number of title variants if there are other ways that we'd like to be able to refer to this book, either in picking up citations or in letting people name it. It is required that we include a category, so we can choose from this list. Let's just imagine that Sefer Ploni is a text of Musar. And then, in some ways, most importantly, we need to know a little something about the structure of this text, which is to say, how does it get broken down into parts and pieces so that we can refer specifically to the right section of text inside of Sefaria. So, for example, a text like Tanakh, texts in Tanakh are broken down in Sefaria into chapters, and those chapters are broken down into verses. So for them, there are two levels of structure. The first is called chapter, the second is called verse. For a text like the Mishnah is broken down into a chapter, and then each chapter is broken down into units that are called Mishnah themselves. So let's imagine that Sefer Ploni is a pretty simple text. It has chapters, so we type chapter as the first level of structure, and the second level of structure we'll call a paragraph. Pretty basic kind of text. Some other texts might be more complicated. They might have more than two levels of structure. It might have chapters and paragraphs and then sentences, if there are specific breakups of the text into sentences that we can know and number. But for this text, let's just stick with the two. So we leave those two here. That's all we need to be able to save this new text. So let's hit save. We're saving the text information. And now that we've done that, we can actually start to add the text itself. So it's asking me to enter a chapter of Sefer Ploni that I'd like to start entering. Start at the beginning with chapter 1. And now I'm in the editing screen where I can start actually inputting the text of Sefer Ploni. So let's just say this was paragraph 1, and this was paragraph 2, this was paragraph 3. So I can save this text. And now we're looking at Sefer Ploni, chapters 1, 2, and 3. Sefer Ploni will appear as a suggestion when I start typing text, and I could say jump to Sefer Ploni chapter 5. We don't have that text yet, but now I'd be ready to add it if I wanted to.